notification came up. I'm Dr. Elena Sherwood. I come live here on Thursdays at noon Eastern Time to give free relationship guidance, relationship advice. It's not therapy. It is, I was a couples therapist for 35 years, and right now I am a relationship coach. I'm no longer a therapist, but I have so much information in my head that I would really, really love to give it to people who could use it. So hence I've started a YouTube channel here, and I'm on other platforms. But one of the things I love to do is answer things as they come up, because usually, that's sometimes when people need it most, right? So if you are catching this on a replay, I'm glad you're here. Hang on a little bit because it takes us a little while sometimes to get started. But I have shown up also to answer 3 questions that have shown up in my community thread that when I said who's got questions. So for those of you who don't know, I do put that on my community post. I'm going live. If you can't make it, I've got some. Leave your comments. Leave your questions in the comments. Oh my God! Thank you for everybody who's coming in. I'm glad you're here. So let me get started on the question that came in. This one came in 19 hours ago. All right. So this one says, can you talk about the format of couples counseling sessions? Like what to expect during your first and subsequent sessions? Thank you. Easy as pie. I can only speak, obviously, on my own and what it has been for me. And as I thank you. There's a question there. Let me just finish this thought so it's not frustrating to watch. So I can only speak to what it's been like as for myself as a clinical therapist and as a coach. Some things are different, but many things are not. Don't over prepare. Don't even prepare. That's my first advice to anybody thinking about counseling. You don't need to, do I need to have, let me write down my notes and I want to read. Some people feel better doing that. It is not necessary. So there we go. You don't need to prepare, just show up. The other note I wrote down there is, many people worry about silences. What if there's like this awful silence? I got to leave all that up to your counselor, therapist, relationship coach. It's not your job. It's not your job to keep track of the time. It's not your job to keep track of who is dominating and who isn't. A skilled couples counselor will know how to handle all of that. So there's less responsibility on you. Your job is simply to show up, to answer the questions as best you can, be honest and real. Don't worry about what your therapist will think or your counselor or your coach will think. They're not there to judge you. They are there to help. So I hope this helps. If this sparks questions for anyone, feel free to put it in the comments and I will gladly revisit this question. All right, here we go. Your last video said it's not your fault, though guessing one person's behavior affects the other. Yes. One of the theories that got introduced to me in my early years in my bachelor degree was this thing called systems theory, which basically means you are a relationship system. And something that affects, when something happens on this side, it does affect the other. And so sometimes that could be good, that could be, yes. So what am I trying to say on that? Sorry, you guys, there's that glare. I hope it's not bothering you, but it's really sunny in my office right now, and there's not much I can do about that. You are going to be affected by somebody else's behavior. And in a way, many of us will respond based on how we are being treated. Now, I am not making excuses for any kind of bad behavior. Basically, if somebody is mean to you, I don't suggest you go mean back. I don't suggest this now gives you a license to be mean back. I would prefer that everybody at all times behave like grown-up, mature adults in relationships. I know this is hard when you're in the middle of things. But yes, somebody's behavior will affect you. Why? Because you care about this person. All of us do feel this need sometimes to do what we can to make someone we love's lives, easier, and to be a good listener and to be a good supporter and to accept them and to love them and all of that. That's something we all usually want to do when we're in a relationship. But there is a point where you are giving too much of yourself, and that is being that is not being seen or acknowledged. And in some relationships, on one side there's just a whole lot of taking, and the other one is a whole lot of giving. So this is a little bit on the systems that I was talking about. It's good to be kind and generous and supportive. But at some point, we have to understand that this is now affecting me to the point that I am drained. And now I am becoming angry and resentful. And now I am becoming bitter. And now I am holding grudges. So what I usually prescribe or suggest to people in that situation is do what you can to set your firm boundary. This isn't saying, I don't love you anymore, go away. This is saying, I also need to take care of myself. So give me a few minutes while I gather how this is all affecting me. And I'll be right back. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I'll be back. We could talk about this again. So healthy boundaries are key. Again, that's what I'm saying is you really want to be able to be there without giving all of yourself. You can love with your whole heart without surrendering your entire being. You should never have to do that. So I hope this helps. Let me know again if you're watching this and if you have questions about that. Now, I'm not seeing any other questions. I'm going to answer the second question that came in my community. So yes, keep the questions coming if you have any, or just put them down in the chat and I will make sure to address them. But I do need a little sip of water first. Ooh, it is dry. Okay, next question. Is there ever a situation couples counseling is off the table? Like if your spouse doesn't even dignify his wife's feelings and experiences on the day-to-day as her reality. Let me read that part again. Like if your spouse doesn't even dignify his wife's feelings and experiences on the day-to-day as her reality. What are the situations where marriage counseling is not good? Yes, I'm sensing a theme in this, and this is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. So counseling, couples therapy, coaching, all of that is best when people come with an openness, an open mind to learn new things, an openness to reflect upon one's behavior, an openness to hear the other person's situation, and an openness to hear somebody else's voice who is there to help you sort stuff out. That's the point of it. If you have people showing up who are closed-minded and they're like, they have zero interest in actually doing anything differently, it may not be the best solution. Because professionals cannot put love back where love is gone. I cannot make someone in a session love somebody again. I cannot make someone an honest, there's that word again, open, more authentic and more engaged, not engaged, more less selfish. I can challenge a little bit. Professionals can challenge a little bit, but sometimes sessions are wasted on trying to break down somebody's wall who is working against the purpose of the sessions in the first place. It is helpful when both come in saying, this is not working. I know there's something we could be doing differently. I just don't understand what he means, what she means, where this is all going. I don't get it. I'm unclear. Counseling is perfect for that. I'm not being the best partner. I'm not being the best husband. I'm not being the best wife. I am really not doing very well with this. Help me okay, good. This happens a lot. I don't understand. Okay, good. There has to be a curiosity, according to me. Now, I have broken down some walls in sessions, but honestly, and it can be done, but you need to have a really experienced clinician doing that, who has the confidence to do that. Early in my career, I didn't. I did my best. But and again, there are limits to what counseling can do for couples. So please understand that. You have to think of it in terms of showing up somewhere looking for answers and looking for clarity and looking for things I could do differently. Yeah, I think that's really all I could say on that, because it's different for everybody, but that's been my experience. So thank you for that lovely question. And so I hope that helps someone, you watching this. All right, so my next question that I'm going to answer today, and again, if you're here and if you have a question, please feel free to put it in the comments. Thank you. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Let me just say that again. Glad you're watching this. This one is a comment. It wasn't a question, but it's something I want to talk about, because this one was on a video I did on hard marriage versus emotional abuse. And this is the comment that I saw. I'm struggling to figure out where to even start to leave. It's a tough one. And I can only speak to if you just asked me this question, for example, I will begin by saying I acknowledge that hard things, they're enough to sometimes make us say, why bother? I would focus on where are the mental blockages here. And I say mental. Sometimes it's, I don't know how I'm going to survive. I'm economic. I don't have any money. I don't have a job. All of that. And so, yes, a lot of the time it's that. But what I've seen in my experience is it's this place in their minds where they've gone and they've kind of surrendered to that this is how it ought to be. Like, in a way, it's almost like they've lost their ability to, at least temporarily, to solve problems and to have hope. Because hope is a very, very dangerous thing. You get hopeful, and then you try. And some people have been beaten down so much mentally that their emotional capacities and their mental capacities are just exhausted from surviving the relationship. That's all they can seem to manage, is to literally live in relationship survival mode. I just want to get through supper. I just want to get through the evening. I just want to get through the weekend. I just want to get through these little seeing them in the morning. Like, you can kind of see, if you are a person who is just trying to get by, I would completely understand why the notion of doing something very, very big would be arresting, would be enough to say, no, I can't. And so what I would do is I would tackle the I can'ts. I would probably make this person make a list of all the things that they are I can'ting about. And just an aside, my husband and I have a very strong marriage, but at some point he had to move ahead and I had to follow with the kids. He got a new job. My kid was finishing high school. And so what I'm getting at is here, for about a 6-month period, we had to live 2 households. Splitting up a household enough just for him to go ahead with all the stuff, that was painful. It was like I understand how hard it would be for somebody to say, okay, that's it. We are like selling everything. We're dividing everything. I am out. Like that little bit I went through was enough to make me it made me a little bit crazy at the time, dividing lives. And so now you have the entire future. And so I acknowledge how hard that is. And so I would love to just start naming all the I can'ts about, because only when we face the painful things and the hidden fears and the hidden truths kind of sitting buried in there can we unload some of that pressure and have a look at what's what. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions that come up. If not, I will see you again next week. Same time, same bat channel. And so Thursdays, noon Eastern Standard. I'll see you back then. Thanks.